My great-grandfather, Amos Tucker, bought the land in 1912, a sprawl of Indiana cornfields with a white clapboard farmhouse perched on a low hill like a tired old man watching the world go by. He was a stoic man, the kind who'd spit in the dirt and call it prayer, and he raised 6 kids in that house, including my grandfather, Elias. The Tuckers were never rich, but the farmhouse was their anchor. Passed down through 4 generations, each adding their own sweat and secrets to its walls. My dad grew up there, chasing fireflies in the yard, and so did I, for a time, before we moved to town. The place was our roots, our legacy, a creaking monument to stubborn survival. But even as a kid, I knew there was something off about it. Something in the way the shadows pooled in the corners, too thick, too still. I was 9 when I first heard the stories, sitting on the porch with my cousin Jenny while the adults drank coffee inside. She leaned in close, her eyes wide, and whispered about the gray lady who walked the upstairs hall at night. Said she'd heard it from her mom, who'd heard it from Grandma, who swore she saw a figure in a tattered dress standing at the foot of her bed one winter night in '63. There were other tales. Footsteps on the stairs when no one was home, a child's laughter from the attic, doors that locked themselves. The locals in town had their own versions. Some said a woman died in childbirth in the 1800s. Others that a farmer hanged himself in the barn after losing everything in the Depression. I laughed it off back then, chalked it up to small-town gossip and too many ghost stories around the campfire. But the farmhouse had a way of making you wonder. Last summer I went back. The place was empty now. Dad too old to keep it up, and the rest of us scattered. I'd inherited it by default, though I hadn't set foot inside in years. The air was heavy when I pushed open the front door, thick with dust and something else, a weight, like the house was holding its breath. The floorboards groaned under my boots, and the light through the warped windows seemed to flicker, though the sun was high. I explored the first floor, the kitchen still smelling faintly of bacon grease and mildew, the living room's wallpaper peeling like dead skin. Upstairs, the air grew colder, the silence sharper. In the master bedroom, I found a mirror with a crack running diagonal, and for a split second, I thought I saw movement in the reflection. Not mine, but something blurred, like a shadow passing behind me. That night, I stayed in the guest room, and around 2 a.m. I heard it, a soft thump, like a book falling, then a faint hum, almost a lullaby, coming from the attic. I didn't go up, not then, but the next morning, I found a child's shoe, small, leather, old, sitting in the middle of the kitchen table. I'd swear on my life it wasn't there the night before. I started digging. The county library had records, brittle pages that smelled of time. The farmhouse was built in 1847 by a family named Hargrove. They were prosperous until the Civil War, when the patriarch, Thomas Hargrove, vanished after enlisting. His wife, Eliza, stayed on, raising 3 kids alone until she died in 1859, cause unknown, though the town doctor's notes hinted at melancholia. In 1892, a tenant farmer named Jacob Wells lost the place to debt. His youngest daughter, Mary, died in a fire that gutted half the barn. The stories lined up too neatly with the rumors. Eliza as the gray lady, Mary's laughter in the attic. I found a photo in the archives, faded and grainy, of the Hargrove family in front of the house. Eliza's face was blurred, like she'd moved just as the shutter clicked, but her eyes seemed to follow me, dark and unblinking. The more I read, the more the house's history felt like a wound that never healed, bleeding into the present. The shoe on the table. Could it have been Mary's? The hum I'd heard. Eliza's lullaby. I couldn't shake the feeling that the house was trying to tell me something, or maybe warn me. I still own the farmhouse, but I don't stay there anymore. I lock the doors, check the windows, and leave it to its shadows. My kids ask about it, and I tell them the safe stories, the ones about fireflies and my dad's old tractor. But the truth is, the place has changed me. I dream about it sometimes, about the gray lady standing in the cornfield, her dress fluttering though there's no wind, or the sound of a child's laughter that stops when I open my eyes. The farmhouse is still there, waiting, its secrets stitched into the walls. I wonder if Eliza or Mary, or whatever else lingers there, wants to be found, or if they're trapped, replaying their pain like a scratched record. What do you think is out there, in the quiet of that old house? Share your thoughts below. I'm still trying to make sense of it myself.